or the Baseline podcast, where we covered the entire 94 feet. And I have a very special guest today who has worked for ESPN for 5 years as a local advertising sales consultant. He was a longtime executive vice president of affiliate sales and affiliate marketing, as well as president and chief operating officer of BET, which is the Black Entertainment Television, which is still very successful. And he was also in charge of Action Pay-Per-View for the BET International. He served as executive vice president of BET on Jazz for 5 years. He's also the chief operating officer of the Washington Mystics, the WNBA team located in Washington, D.C. He has also opened a privately founded indoor basketball facility in Chantilly, Virginia. He has also served as the president of the T. Howard Foundation. He is the recipient of the 1998 National Cable Television Association Vanguard Award for Marketing Excellence, which is the highest award for marketing in the cable industry. He has launched HBCUGO.TV and is a broadcasting and cable Hall of Famer. And this is Curtis Symonds. Coach, how you doing today?
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate those kind words. I'm doing good, Jack. It's good to see you again, man. And congratulations on the new show.
Thank you very much. I also apologize for my appearance. This was a recent accident on a recent vacation. Just ignored a little cut. That's all that is. So, Coach
no
Curtis,
problem.
thank you so much for making some time out of your day here, spending a few minutes with us. That really means a lot to me.
Always, Jack. It's always fun to talk to you, man. You're a hard worker, and I appreciate what you're doing right now, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Yeah, so that resume, I can't believe it. That is just incredible. A lifetime of work like that.
Well, I tell you, Jack, it's I was just talking to another friend of mine the other day about it, and I've taken that very lightly. I didn't really look at my career as much as people do now, and over 40 plus years in the media business, I paid some pretty good dues, and over time, I really started to get some nice flowers from it. So I appreciate people really looking into what I've done and consider the hard work I put in to climb up this ladder in the media business. And it's been a good ride, a very good ride, Jack.
That's just amazing. So I'm going to start off with a couple questions. So Curtis, what inspires you to become so involved in the broadcasting and sports media industry?
I think it goes way back for me, Jack. I'm like you. Fortunately, you're getting a better start than I did in high school. In high school, I did not play high school basketball. I tried out many times from my freshman year all the way up to my junior year, and I got a lot better as I got older. But the coach just wouldn't give me a shot. And I was determined to play college basketball. And I told him, my high school coach, that you weren't going to stop me from playing college basketball. And I was able to walk on at a Catholic school following another friend of mine and played there 2 years and then transferred back home in Ohio, where I grew up at, and finished up at Central State University, played my last 2 years there. And that's been kind of been my drive, Jack, because that gave me the knowledge that if you want something, you got to go get it. No one's going to just hand it to you. And that's been my driving force ever since I've been in the media business, that I realized then it wasn't going to be something that somebody was just going to hand it to me. I had to go take it. And I had to work hard, prove to people I was good at what I did. And I was able to do that. And, I grew very, very much within the business because people started realizing my talents and started seeing what I was doing in the business and gave me credit for it, and get in the business and really try to lead a way that I would hope be able to mentor young people down the road to follow in my footsteps and hopefully try to grow in the business like I grew in the business.
So obviously, making connections with people is just a big thing for you, right?
Networking is the key, Jack, and to me in the world. You know, what I mean, you can't survive unless you get to know people and let people appreciate who you are and treat people how you want them to treat you. And I've been fortunate over the years, business who saw a green light on me and said, you know, this guy's got some opportunity and really got behind me and supported me in a way to help me grow. And that's really why, yes, network is very important to me because I feel like because of the networking over the years, that's allowed me to really grow in the business that I've been able to stay around over the last 40 plus years.
It's very, it's very awesome.
Jack, you still
So
there? I got you.
I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's
it was a great opportunity, Jack. In the long run, that the network is really, to your point, important, very important.
very insightful. Thank you. All right. So how do you think the television and broadcasting aspect of like the networking industry or like big time networks like ESPN, how has it kind of evolved over the years due to advances in the technology that people use now?
Well, I think it's grown dramatically. I mean, when I first got into business back in the late '70s, Jack, that's when broadcast cable, the ABC, the CBS, the NBCs of the world were really dominating television. And then all of a sudden, these cable networks popped up, and you went from being able to see TV on 20 channels up to 50 to 100 to 150 now to 200 plus. And I think that as a viewer, the viewer is always trying to find different opportunities to look at other programming that they might want to try to, watch and grow upon. And I think there's been a lot of good channels that have been developed over the years that open up a lot of opportunity for a lot of people, because people want to see more diversity. They want to see more type programming targeted to what they liked. They didn't keep themselves in a corner by just saying, all right, we're only going to watch news, and that's about it. Then you get comedy, you get news, you get sports, you get entertainment, you get lifestyle programming. And it just opened up a lot of doors. And now the world has even gotten even more interesting because now it's gone from more of a broadcasting and cable to now streaming. And the streaming's come along because the cost of cable has gotten so high now. And people just can't afford, $200 a month. And people are trying to look at, what's a better way to watch television. But more importantly, what's a better way to watch what I want to watch? I don't want to buy 55 channels, but I'm only want to watch five. So
Right.
now the streaming world allows, the average consumer now to pick and choose better about channels they want to watch. And I think that's going to be a door that's going to really revolutionize viewership because you're going to see, I think, more and more uh, apps and things like that designed just to be selective on what certain channels you can watch and save you from having to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to watch stuff you don't want to watch. So I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a very interesting development over the next few years on how that whole thing grows.
Right. Because in the early days, the viewers were just kind of confined to a certain amount of channels, and that was it basically, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Where now you have all kind of different apps that are there from Sling to Roku to Apple TV, to others that, give you a little bit more of your choice as a viewer. So
And
that's
there's
exactly what I
different,
think.
right. There's different plans that people can buy. I mean, just
Yes,
based on what they want.
yes, yes, exactly, Jack. Exactly. So I think it's going to come down to the pricing. It's going to come down to the number of channels that viewer wants to be. And the average viewer today, technically, Jack, really only watches five channels. If you think about it, you could probably recite five channels you regularly go to. and that's kind of what the average viewer does. So I think that it'll be very selective down the road on what you really want to, pull off to be what you want to view at the end of the day.
So, and then from the early 70s until now, you've had such amazing career. And, you and I, everyone, we have our ups and downs. And
Sure.
I'd like you to just take me through some of your trials and tribulations, along the way and just kind of explain how you bounce back.
I think the biggest lesson I learned over my years, Jack, was when I finished up at BT in '01, and one of the things that I wanted to do was built a gymnasium complex, which I was able to do in Chantilly, Virginia, called Hoop Magic. The thing, though, is that did it in a hurry, and I should have taken my time more than jumped out there the way I jumped out there. Because when I was looking at this idea of building the complex, I wasn't thinking about at that point in time becoming president of the WNBA Washington Mystics, and it all came together at the same time. I mean, I finished building the gym in '05, and then I became president of the WNBA Washington Mystics in '05. The problem was that it was a new concept. The hot seasons for the Mystics and the gym was summertime. And
So were you trying to juggle all of those at once?
exactly, I was trying to, Jack, and I did that for 2 years, and it about killed me. And I put a lot of the weight of the gym on my wife, which wasn't fair. And she did a great job of keeping things together, but we didn't get off the ground the way we should have got off the ground. And it was one heck of a facility that we built. The problem was it was a tough time in the financial time window where the banks were not giving you a lot of leeway if things were not working in the right way. And we just got caught in that situation. We were able to keep the gym alive for 5 years, which was phenomenal. And we lost it in 011. The bank took it over in 011, and it was a setback for a hot second because I put my blood, sweat, and tears in it. And then I tried to figure out, well, what's my next move here? After that, and it took me a little wake up call to get my feet back on the ground and realize that sometimes you got to get knocked down to get back up. And in my case, losing my gym was my knockdown, but I was able to get back up. Me and my wife were able to get back up. We were able to get reestablished, and some good things fell in the right place. And now the dream that I had of launching a streaming channel around Stoker Black colleges and universities came alive. And that's to me, my swan song going out of the business, is to now live the dream that I wanted, launching a network around Stoker Black College and University. So, the man upstairs, plays some good games with you and makes you work hard to understand that no one's just going to hand anything to you. You got to work for it. You got to always sacrifice a little bit to really get to where you need to get to. And I certainly learned that lesson, the hard way, but it was a good way. And I'm proud of it because me and my wife are doing very well, and it got us back on our feet. So I'm really happy.
That's great, Coach. Love to hear that.
No problem. No problem.
So, right. So I understand you moved to coaching and you're at PVI now still.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And that team just went to the national championship.
Yes.
That was awesome. I remember when I was at the PVI camp, I think 2 summers ago, when I first met you, I knew like right away, this guy, not only does he have great stories to tell and lessons to share with everybody, but I mean, the basketball knowledge and the smarts you have were just off the charts.
I appreciate that, Jack. I appreciate that. It's always good to hear when a young person like yourself can appreciate some of the things that I'm saying. And hopefully, as I tell all young people and everything I do, I might not be able to touch everybody in the room, but if I'm able to touch one or two people in the room, and give you a little bit of tutelage to lead you in the right way, then I've accomplished my goal. I've accomplished my goal. Because all I can do is lay out what I think could help you be better at what you do. But it's upon you to kind of, take it and run, and I appreciate those kind words that you picked up on that. And I try to be encouraging to young folks because, it's all about building blocks, Jack. You got to slowly but surely climb the ladder, understand the grind, and realize that you got to continue to work hard, man. It's not going to be given, and it can easily be taken away. But if you stay focused, you'd be surprised where you can go with it. So that's really the key to me.
And look how far that's gotten you. Pretty incredible.
Well, I appreciate that, Jack. I appreciate that very much so.
Sure, sure thing. We're gonna end off on one more question here.
Go
If
ahead.
you were talking to a new media consultant, broadcaster, TV anchor, anyone in your field, what advice would you give to a young person in that field?
Well, my words of wisdom has always been this, Jack, is that you got to learn how to grind, man. In order to be successful in this media business, it's a tough business. It's a business that you got to realize, who you are, what you're all about, and be able to take it and really grow from it. It's not going to be something that someone's just going to give you the golden spoon. It just doesn't happen like that. And one of my successes has been the fact that people have seen me. I've been on the grind with, I started out early in the old days with ESPN when they were nobody. So I was able to help climb that ladder at ESPN. Same way with BET. We were just turning the corner at BET when I came to BET, but we were able to grow it into a media mogul that it still is today. And I'm now trying to do that again with HBCU Go TV. To take it from basically a dream now into reality. And so if you can really put your hooks around it and realize that it's something that you got to grow. It's like planting a seed and you watch the seed kind of unfold and you see the different leaves that it leaves on every step you take. And once you can kind of realize that, you take those steps in order to grow, then more and more you'll become a better person and be able to be a long timer in the business. And that's what it takes in order to be in this business because you got to be a grinder. And if you don't do it, you can't get there. But if you do it, you got some opportunities before it's all over.
Coach Curtis Symonds, thank you so much for your time and your words of wisdom.
No problem, Jack. Thank you. I'm glad we were able to hook it up. I apologize for coming on late, but thanks very much for holding up for me.
Sure thing. Great talking to you, Coach.
All right, Jack. Tell mom and dad I said hello.
I will.
All right. Take care. All righty. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Welcome to the very first episode of the 94 Feet podcast.